Coming up on Newswatch 12 this morning, President Trump has arrived in Israel to meet with hostage families and address the government. Plus, the Oregon State Beavers are now searching for a new head football coach after parting ways with Trent Bray after an abysmal 0-7 start to the year.
And this morning, we're starting off with wet conditions, even seeing some tricky travel along your passes. We'll take a closer look at your morning commute coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Newswatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 o'clock on October 13th. Welcome to Newswatch 12 this morning. You're taking a live look at Medford from the People's Bank on Biddle Road. I'm Danny Stepanovich, but first we want to turn over to Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress. Sarah, what can we expect?
This morning, heading out the door, roads are wet. We're also seeing some snow into our higher pass levels, and temperatures are pretty cool. So throughout your day today, we're going to see widespread rain showers, mainly into your morning hours. We're going to see it break up a bit as you're into your afternoon and evening, especially for your west side areas and especially along the coast. But this morning, the big headline definitely is going to be those snow levels. Starting off around 5,000 feet this morning, could drop a little bit lower than that. But taking a closer look out, most of that rain this morning, areas over to our west, especially if you're into Josephine and Jackson County, working its way in. Some of us do have school today or still do have work. So if you are heading out for your commute, make sure you're taking a rain jacket, an umbrella, planning in some extra time, even if you are seeing that rain, because roads could not be the best this morning. Now, even into Siskiyou County, working in with that rain. East side, starting to see some showers, but along the passes is where we really do have our eyes on. Like I mentioned, snow levels kind of around about 5,000 feet this morning. Could see some impacts with visibility, especially if you are along the Willamette passes and near Diamond Lake. Also seeing snow levels drop a little bit more, so plan in some extra time. Moral of the story, but since midnight we've seen quite a bit of rain, especially if you are along the coast. Gold Beach a little bit over a half an inch. Gonna see those totals pick up a little bit today, especially if your area is over west side. Lesser amounts to the east. Heading out the door this morning, it is rather chilly into the 40s for your west side valleys, 30s areas over east side, a mix of the 40s and 30s into Northern California. Highs are expected to be pretty chilly, a few degrees from yesterday on the cooler side. We do see those clouds break up a little bit more into the second half of your day. Could warm up just a smidge more than this into our west side valleys, but in general, expect 40s and 50s east side, 50s into your west side valleys. Now, through the next few days, we are going to start to dry out into your Tuesday, but I'll have a closer look at rainfall totals and those drying conditions coming up in your next forecast.
Thanks, Sarah. This morning, President Trump arrived in Israel to meet with hostage families and address the government. Then he plans to head to Egypt for a world summit aimed at ending the war in Gaza. Trump has said he believes the ceasefire will hold, but the details remain complex, including how Hamas will disarm and who will rebuild, secure, and govern Gaza. Israel has made it clear it will not end hostilities until Hamas completes its disarmament. Meanwhile, celebrations erupted in Tel Aviv at Hostages Square as families awaited to see their loved ones for the first time in years. One mother, Vicky Cohen, on her way to reunite with her son, shared her emotions.
I'm so excited. I'm full of happiness, and it's hard to imagine how I feel this moment.
This first phase of the ceasefire, 20 hostages believed to be alive are expected to be released today, along with the remains of 28 others who died in captivity. In return, Israel will release nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. The Red Cross is now on site in northern Gaza to take custody of the hostages during the transfer. Crater Lake National Park is closing several roads for the season due to recent snow and more on the way. The north entrance, East Rim Drive, and West Rim Drive will be closed over the weekend. Highway 62 through the park and the road to Rim Village will remain open. Park officials warn visitors to be prepared for snowy and icy conditions if you're traveling through. And Oregon gas prices continue their steady drop this fall. The average price for a gallon of gas is sitting at $4.09. That's a 4-cent drop from last week, but 42 cents higher than the time last year. Now a look at regional prices. Jackson and Lake drivers can expect to pay about $4 even at the pump. In Josephine, $3.87, Klamath, $3.90, and in Curry County, $4.12. Whether chasing records or riding for a seasonal cause, Southern Oregonians came together Saturday for a race day like no other, where every finish felt like a team effort. Newswatch 12's Daryl Green captured the moment.
Take a look behind me and you will see a large group of individuals supporting their beloved friends and family members as the Rogue Marathon and Ride for a Cause come together in an event where all teams support one another. Runners and cyclists in Southern Oregon crossed the finish line along North Bartlett Street as the Rogue Marathon and Ride for a Cause combined for the ultimate community event, highlighted teamwork and support, two principles that helped a pair of women in the 10K race make history.
I think we were just so happy to be doing it together.
Totally, that's like the main thing because we drove so far. We really wanted it to be like a special bonding thing more than just another race.
The dynamic duo surpassed the previous record of 43:09 by nearly a minute, as Stebbins finished with a time of 42:21 and Wooldridge finished with a time of 42:22.
When we were at mile 5, we had like a mile to go, and we kind of just looked at each other and we were like, we're just gonna hold hands across the finish, and whatever they say, we're gonna split the prize money, and like we're gonna win this together.
And while the Rogue Marathon tracks every second, Ride for a Cause takes a different route, one that doesn't track timing, but tracks passion.
I love it. It makes my heart full. Absolutely. To see the community come together and facilitate and participate in these events is tremendous. And I don't know if I needed an extra motivation at all, just an organized event to be able to participate into in our community.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, a national effort to highlight the impact of the abuse and connect survivors to support. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, more than 12 million people are affected by abuse each year in the U.S., many without access to safe resources or support networks. An event held this past weekend in Medford stressed the importance of the awareness.
Stand by every survivor is because when someone is being victimized, they are many times secluded, they feel shame and guilt, they don't have the ability or family or resources to speak out.
Say early education and intervention are crucial, and that spotting warning signs can help prevent escalation.
To be able to stop that abuse early, before it is physical, helps an individual heal and get away from it, be safe, have an opportunity for a better life.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month runs through the end of October, but advocates say support and education should be year-round. For more resources or to speak confidentially with someone, you can visit thehotline.org. And news out of Corvallis. After going scoreless in the first 3 quarters in Saturday's blowout loss to Wake Forest, the Oregon State Beavers football team are now without a head coach. Newswatch 12's Daryl Green has more.
Yeah, Danny, the Oregon State Beavers are in search of a new head football coach this morning after parting ways with former head coach Trent Bray. The university announced the move on Sunday afternoon. Oregon State Athletics Director Scott Barnes announced the decision, citing unacceptable results on the field. Bray, a former player and graduate of OSU, was in his first full season as head coach. Barnes said the choice was difficult, but made in the best interest of student athletes, fans, and the university. The buyout of Bray's contract will be covered entirely by donor funds. Defensive line coach Rob Ackey has been named interim head coach for the rest of the 2025 season.
He was not doing very good. We do not have many wins.
Yeah, we had to leave the football game early yesterday, so.
Yeah, we're the opposite of undefeated.
Now, while the university continues their search for the next head coach, Rob Ackey and the Beavers have a week to prepare for the next opponent as they'll be hosting Lafayette University. Reporting in the newsroom, I'm Daryl Green.
After becoming an entrepreneur as a teenager, 23-year-old Dalton Dennis is now taking on his biggest business venture yet. He recently signed a deal to bring 3 Lane's Chicken Fingers locations to Southern Oregon, a brand he says he fell in love with the first time he tried it. One of the new locations will be in Grants Pass, the town where Dennis was born and raised. After attending Boise State, he says coming home to invest in his community feels like a full circle moment.
It's unbelievable to me that I have this avenue where I can come back home and do what I want to do professionally, right? And kind of pour back into that community. And all of Southern Oregon, I can say that once something shows a bit of love towards us, we ride behind them no matter what. And I think that is kind of what will happen with Lane.
Denison Lanes are still finalizing locations with plans to open all 3 restaurants by 2026. And looking ahead to Halloween, there's some spooky fun coming to Medford City Hall later this month. The city is hosting a trunk or treat event on Friday, October 31st, starting at 4:30 p.m. in the City Hall parking lot. Families can stop by for candy, costumes, and community fun with several City of Medford departments taking part. The event runs until 6:30 p.m. and organizers say all ages are welcome and costumes are encouraged. And the days are winding down to donate to our 35th annual Coats for Kids campaign. We've already seen tons of donations, but we want to make sure every local kid has a coat this winter. If you have a new or gently used coat, you can drop it off at any of our 50 donation barrel locations. A full list of barrel locations across Jackson, Josephine, and Klamath counties can be found on our website at kdrv.com.
And this morning, we're keeping an eye on our storm system here that is bringing rain, higher elevation snow, and some impacts to travel this morning. But here is that low that we're tracking, and a closer look. What we're seeing this morning, it's wet, chilly, and even snowy along those passes. Today, we are going to keep things on the cooler side, but we're expecting to see those temperatures warm back up later into your week. I'll have a closer look at what you can expect in the days ahead coming up in just a bit.
Also coming up, the Navy and the White House celebrating some big milestones today. And the CDC reverses courses on hundreds of layoffs over the weekend. More in today's Health Watch later in the newscast. Thanks for choosing Newswatch 12 to start off your week. You're taking a live look at Medford from the People's Bank on Biddle Road. Have a great Monday.